be ready to sear. Oh, wow.
I've been getting a lot of requests to review Max the Meat Guy, and today we're going to be seeing what he thinks of the Outdoor Boys. If you are new to the channel, my name is James. I've been cooking for many years in many different places, and if you haven't seen any of my recipe videos, be sure to check them out after seeing this video on my YouTube channel. Now, let's get started.
YouTube's greatest chef just retired. Not Gordon Ramsay, not Jamie Oliver.
Oh my God, the suspense is killing me.
I'm talking about the Outdoor Boys. Now their food looks incredible, but is it actually good? Today, we find out the truth. Like Luke always says,
tonight, I'm eating like a king.
Oof, boy, for a second there, Max had us going. I mean, when he said, like, YouTube's greatest chef, I was thinking, well, maybe Gordon, maybe Jamie. Well, maybe Jamie, maybe not Jamie. No offense. But the Outdoor Boys, it is sad to see him go because he retired not that long ago, and I think he's on a sabbatical.
starting off with the iconic bread and honey butter, this one always looks the most satisfying to me. Bunch of butter, bunch of honey. What I love about his food is it's usually simple, but just the way he eats it, like in the wilderness, it looks so satisfying.
I think it's even more satisfying when you're camping out in the wilderness like Luke normally does, roughing it, and you're starving. I mean, you're burning a lot of calories, and then you have some beautiful homemade bread that you just made on the campfire with some honey and some butter. I mean, it is tasty. It's simple, but tasty. I have it for breakfast sometimes at home.
So let me give you the most basic recipe to get you started. Bread flour, sugar, salt, yeast, and water.
Literally just 5 ingredients. Okay, so he says the amount of yeast, sugar, and salt you use does not matter. That is my kind of recipe. We are strictly going by feel. We're gonna try a couple variations. Let's see how it goes.
This is a little subjective. I mean, when you're camping outside, you're not really going to have the time, or you may not even have the tools to be able to measure properly. So, you know, you need to do what you need to do. But when you're in like a professional setting, it does matter more with the ratios and the ingredients. That way you can repeat what you made again and again.
We'll start by adding in the bread flour. Feels very weird not measuring, but I kind of like it. Make a little hole in the center. And he specifically says the amount of yeast you use doesn't matter. I used to think baking was a perfect science, but this process completely flips that on its head. Well, the sugar and the salt. Finally, a little bit of warm water in the middle.
Also, when making any dough, at least at home, it is a good idea to sieve the flour so you don't get any of those little pebbles in the flour. You may have like little hard pieces of flour. It's good to get rid of them.
A little bit of frothing. Now I'll just add a little more water and start mixing into our dough. Wow. Okay, that is a phone covered in flour. Well, it's definitely sticky. I'll start kneading. He said it is supposed to be sticking to your fingers, which I can confirm is happening right now. This is actually kind of fun. He said eventually it should dry out, no longer be sticking as much to the counter or my hands, which is actually what seems to be happening. That should be good. Now we'll let it rest to rise.
Either he was kneading for about 10 minutes or he added a little more flour, because that looks a lot drier than it was before. If you don't incorporate the gluten properly, it may not rise properly. And if you overwork the dough as well, which is also possible, you can also affect the bread. But when you're kneading the bread, you're mixing the water and the other ingredients together with the gluten, you start to activate the gluten, so it becomes stretchier. The higher the protein content in the gluten, the stretchier it will be.
Okay, it's been an hour and our bread has doubled in size. Let's see if we can get this fire started. Okay guys, we've made it outside, but I just realized we probably chose the hottest day all year, but have no fear, this is an Outdoor Boys video. We gotta deal with the conditions as they are. First step, we have to light this fire. Now, fortunately, we have the luxury of pretty much every device to create flame. However, in the spirit of the Outdoor Boys, we gotta do this the authentic way. So I've never actually used one of these before. Oh. Wow, okay. Let's see if we can get this lit. Oh my gosh, that was a lot easier than I was expecting.
Of course it's fun having a bonfire on a hot day. Come on. It's what everyone does. I think it's more fun to have one on the beach in summer, to have some hot dogs and s'mores, but you know, it's how it is.
Kind of proud of myself. Let's see if we can keep this fire alive. Ooh yeah, nothing like a nice hot fire on a 95-degree Miami day. Didn't think this video would be an actual survival video, but it's sort of feeling like that right now. A lot of smoke inhalation, but either way, cheese in the bread, and we'll wrap it up. And now, believe it or not, we're placing this loaf of bread directly on and covered in hot coals. This feels wrong, but I'm putting my faith in the Outdoor Boys on this one.
I can tell right now he's gonna remember making this video. He's gonna suffer. This is the second time he's mentioned it in less than a minute.
Now for the second type of bread, he just kind of flattens it out. It's more like a flat bread. And instead of going in the coals like our loaf, it's going right on top. And we'll give it a little flip. Oh, wow, that actually looks perfect. Look at the color on that. Looks like we got a bit of sticking from the coals, and honestly, the loaf looks burned to a crisp, but they should be done.
If any of you haven't tried honey butter in the morning, it is delicious, especially with fresh bread.
Let's make that honey butter.
Is there anything better than warm, fresh bread? Yes, warm, fresh bread with honey butter.
We have a bunch of pure honey. We'll add the melted butter, and we'll give it a shake. There's no way this could be bad. So good. Wow. This is genius, and I haven't even tasted it yet. Now we'll just lather up that bread. The butter's given the honey this almost silky texture. I cannot wait to taste this.
Normally I just take a little bit of butter, put that on the bread, and then add some honey to it. I don't mix it together, but you can do that as well if you want. The honey stays like shelf stable longer if you don't mix it with butter, but still it is tasty.
And then of course we have our loaf. Kind of looks like a cannonball. I guess sort of to be expected if you completely cover something in raging hot coals. We'll have to see if it's edible.
I recently watched the documentary Pompeii, and it kind of reminds me of that.
Remove as much of that ash as possible. I mean, Luke does say it's all edible and fine to eat, and we'll slice into it.
Well, all the burnt pieces are edible. I mean, you can eat burnt pieces if you want, and even some people may actually like burnt bread. But if you don't want extra carcinogens and everything, it may not be the best thing.
Straight up, I've never succeeded at making bread. This might be the best looking bread I've ever made in my entire life. It actually looks like bread. We got that cheese pocket, a really nice crunchy feel to it. I mean, it's bubbly on the inside. Keep in mind, we did zero measuring whatsoever, and this is what we're left with. Obviously, the big question mark here is how will the outside taste given that it was cooked directly inside a fire? But either way, I'm feeling optimistic.
Well, it's obvious how it's gonna taste. This is going to taste very smoky. I mean, you put this directly into the fire and covered it with coals. It's gonna have that campfire taste.
I know you guys can't see, but Sophia's foot is actually broken. If you guys could please wish her a healthy foot in the comments, we'd really appreciate it.
What happened to Sophia's foot, Max? Did something fall on it? Did you step on it? Was this punishment? Was she being a bad employee? No, let us know what happened, because seriously, now there's like no context. How did it happen? What happened?
This is one of those things that I've seen so often online, and I've always wanted to try it. It looks and smells so good.
I found this channel because of the food, and I didn't really even know it was like a survivalist channel.
Let's find out if he's the real deal.
That is unbelievable bread.
I think I'm more impressed by the honey butter.
One of the best bites of food I've ever had.
Stupid good.
It's crispy, you get that smoky flavor, that sweetness. This is off the charts.
That campfire charred taste is unbelievable.
But did you see how I made it? We just eyeballed everything. Kind of blowing my mind.
You know, looking at them tasting the food and everything, this is kind of reminding me of Nick DiGiovanni as well as Guga's channel. Normally, they're part of the black shirt gang, all of them. All their crew members, all the people that work for them also wear black shirts, and then everybody sits down and tastes the food afterwards. And you don't even know who they are.
It's so good.
Do you see how I cooked this? I threw this in a fire, and somehow
It just works. I don't know how it works, but you're a genius, Luke, because this is insane. It's like a savory donut.
Well, there's a big difference between a donut, which doesn't have that campfire smell to it, and a little bowl of bread that's been covered in ash.
This is an S-tier recipe, and it's so simple. Yes.
I think that's starting very high.
It's so good.
Clearly, that was absolutely mind-blowing, and we're starting out with an S. Next up, we have the one and only biscuits and gravy. Now, I don't even like eating biscuits and gravy, but for some reason, whenever Luke eats them, they just look so good. Let's check them out.
Biscuits and gravy is one of the easiest meals, but it's so delicious. Heavy whipping cream, pork sausage, lots of pepper.
For anyone that's not American watching this, biscuits and gravy is basically comfort food, so it's a very hearty meal. Basically, you have bread of some sort, a pasty or anything, or biscuits, and you have a heavy sauce with gravy. It's like a meat sauce.
Just browning up the meat.
Gonna add some cream. This little bottle of cream, 1,600 calories. That's why I don't eat biscuits and gravy every day.
That is a lot of cream, not gonna lie.
Now, that's a lot of calories too, but keep in mind, Luke normally when he camps burns thousands and thousands of calories a day just to be able to make some of his campfires and his shelters. So he needs the calories, and when you're working that hard, you have to eat, because if you don't, your body will just start, well, consuming itself.
Whoa, if you look closely, that is a heavy hand's worth of pepper. That is a lot.
I got some hot dog buns. I'm gonna try to tear them up into little bits and put them in the gravy to thicken it up. Not bad at all. Now obviously homemade biscuits would be better, but this ain't bad for a guy who slept on the floor last night.
Literally like 4 ingredients. Let's give it a shot. Pan on, we'll open up the pork sausage and get it cooking. Managing the heat, given that we're cooking over fire, is tricky, but we'll just get it all browned up. It's smoky and it's hot.
Something tells me that Max is having a hard time making this video. He doesn't look like he's enjoying it that much.
Great color on there. We'll add in the cream. Basically drowning the pork sausage in cream. Just like Luke, I'm going heavy. Now we'll throw on a whole bunch of black pepper. Bubbling over just a little bit, gonna add in some breadcrumbs, hopefully thicken and finish this up. Oh, it's really bubbling up, oh boy. And we can't turn down the heat because we are using fire. I think I'm gonna call this done. Now we'll get started on the biscuits. Whoa. Rolling it into a nice strand of dough, rolling it up on our stick. Got it all tied up so it looks like this, and we'll see if we can get it to cook.
It looks like Max is suffering making this in his backyard, and keep in mind, he's making this at home. This is a completely different situation if you were going to be making this out in the country in the middle of nowhere with no help. Camping, especially like survival camping, can be a lot of work.
We should be good to go. The biscuits surprisingly seem to have cooked evenly with good color, and the gravy has thickened up to a perfect consistency. Let's see how this tastes. Okay, everybody grab a piece of biscuit. Ooh, give it a nice little dip in the gravy. Whoa, it's so creamy. It's so good.
It's so amazing.
I've always been intimidated by making gravy because you think it like requires reducing the right proportions. This is like the most simple recipe of all time.
A lot of people seem to have this feeling like making a good sauce can be extremely difficult, and while there are some sauces that can be a little challenging to make, sauces in general are super easy to make. I mean, you can take even the jus from any of the meat that you're cooking. You can saute some shallots, add some white wine to it, pour the jus in, and you have yourself a basic sauce. If you want to thicken it, you can add you can reduce it, you can add a little bit of butter as well. This helps thicken it even more, and if you want to add a little bit of flour to it, or if you want to turn it into a gravy, it's super simple.
The sausage flavor in there really comes through nicely.
The addition of the pork sausage really balances nicely with the cream.
It gives it that saltiness.
My only problem with this, honestly, I think I can only eat like 2 bites of it before I feel like absolute crap. But if you're camping and it's cold, I bet you this is incredible. I think it would be like a B to A for me.
I think a B is fair.
It's a strong B.
Yeah, it's one of those types of meals that it fills you up very quickly. It really does, especially if you're going to be eating Pillsbury dough. It's not the healthiest.
This might be the most satisfying looking meal I've ever seen him make, the pork jowl baked beans. Starting by boiling the beans until they're nice and tender, adding in chunks of pork jowl, nice chopped up onion. Also keep in mind, he has no cutting board. He's using a knife and he's cutting it towards himself. That is some skill.
For my Italian viewers out there, pork jowl is basically guanciale.
Great looking flavors, and I think just letting it cook. Those beans are coming along. Time for the steak.
All right, we're gonna put that right on the coals. Just like the bread, the coals are gonna stick to it while it's rare, and once it's cooked, the coals will fall off.
Okay, so that's a tip I've never actually heard before. Every time I've done the caveman style, I just kind of use a thermometer and it is what it is. So we'll see if that actually works.
Well, it's the same thing with like pan-searing a steak or even grilling one, is that normally when it's ready, it won't stick to the grill anymore. The thing is though, it can still stick. I mean, especially if you didn't do it right. The theory behind it is that when it's finished cooking, it will develop a sort of crust, and that crust will be basically not sticking to the pan or the grill anymore, although there are exceptions to this, yes.
And we'll start off with some beautiful pork jowls. It's cured and smoked just like bacon, but the jowl comes from sort of the cheek, chin, and jaw area. Extremely rich, but packed with flavor.
A little different than guanciale. Guanciale normally has a lot of black pepper, so if you do need a substitute, you can.
In the spirit of the outdoor boys, I'm gonna see if I can use his technique. Oh my gosh, this feels a little dangerous. This is a lot harder than it looks. It's so fatty and waxy, it's sliding all around. Let's get him outside to cook.
Here's the thing, if you don't have good knife skills, I do not recommend cutting towards yourself, but it's not necessarily like a difficult thing. Normally in the kitchen, when you're turning vegetables with a paring knife, imagine that this is a paring knife, you turn towards yourself constantly. Your thumb basically prevents the blade from going any further, and you're not slicing your thumb, it just stops the blade. You don't want a dull knife, because the dull knife, you can cut yourself actually worse with a dull knife than a sharp knife, but you just need to be careful.
Get these beans on. And we'll let them cook. Okay, our beans should be nice and cooked through.
He's not happy.
We'll add in the pork jowl, the onions, do a bunch of brown sugar. We'll add in the tomato paste, mustard powder, some salt, and black pepper. Now, we'll give it a nice mix and let that keep cooking. It is looking a bit thin right now, but hopefully as it cooks down, it'll kind of thicken up. We got our beans bubbling away, time for steak, and of course, we're going caveman style.
Such a beautiful thing to have a fire on a hot day, isn't it? It's beautiful. Every single time that Max goes towards the fire, he makes a face.
Honestly, not looking bad. And we'll throw down a bit of bread to go with the beans. I mean, this right here is looking like a proper outdoor boys meal. With those embers pretty easily falling off, that means our steak should be done. Beans look good, let's head inside. This meal is looking glorious.
I wonder how long it took him to make this, because right now it kind of looks like it's later in the day and it's cloudy, whereas before it was nice and sunny. It rains a lot in Florida. Yeah, it's one of those things that you never know, it could rain.
Nice charred bread, our beautiful looking bone-in ribeye, and of course, what I'm hoping are some super flavorful beans. And we'll see how we did on this steak, cooked directly on coals. I mean, cooked on coals or not, that's looking pretty good. Talk about the perfect medium rare. And now I gotta do something that as a fan of the outdoor boys, I have always wanted to do. Got our bread, scoop out some of those beans, little steak on top, and that right there is a bite. Make sure you get a good bite. Little steak, a little bit of that bread.
Unbelievable.
Unfreaking believable.
Beans on toast with steak, not bad. Actually, that sounds like a pretty good lunch right now. I may need to go buy some steak to make this.
Like, cooked over a campfire or not, this is a 5-star meal. Today we're actually eating like kings.
Real question though, who are these people next to Max? Are these his little workers that work for him? I think we need name tags.
I know there's gonna be a day sometime in the future when I'm like camping with my future family. I'm gonna whip this out. If you ever go camping, you need to make this.
I'd either go A or S.
I think this is an S tier.
I think this is an S.
It's another S.
He didn't seem that enthusiastic when saying that, did he?
Next up, we have something extremely unique. Honestly, I'm not too sure about this one, but either way, it's the orange soda marinated beef tacos.
Orange soda!
You want tacos?
Taco Friday.
Taco Friday. Marinated beef here, marinated orange soda.
Really? You marinated in orange soda? Well, I mean, some people do use Coca-Cola, don't they? I don't normally drink Fanta and Coca-Cola in these things, so, you know.
Okay, seared up the beef, now adding the vegetables into that saucy mixture. Re-adding the beef, then pretty simple, just assembling those tacos.
Not gonna lie, these are pretty tasty.
We'll be the judge of that.
No, they didn't look that bad. Also, when you have a TV in the background and camping, it isn't that bad.
And we'll start off with some beautiful top sirloin.
What was that for? The slapping noise again and again? This is kind of like Nick DiGiovanni, no? When he slaps his meat constantly?
Work has been very bad. So we have to tie it up. First,
Ew, don't spank your dinner. Get room and spank your girlfriend. Leave the poor pork alone.
Now we'll slice thin at an angle to kind of mimic what he had. It looked like some sort of shaved beef situation. This is a first for me, but now we have our orange soda. And like a lot of the recipes, there is no recipe, so I'm just going for it.
Whoa, the color of that Fanta looks completely different than what we have over here. Now keep in mind the difference between the ingredients in the US and even Europe for the same product will be drastically different because of the laws and everything. So if you do come over here and you see Fanta or orange Fanta and it looks completely different, don't freak out. Normally it doesn't have the same amount of color dyes and everything in it. Instead of using Fanta too, you could just use real orange. It is carbonated, so this does help, but you could also add carbonated water if you wanted to.
Also gonna throw in a bit of soy sauce, some Worcestershire, a little bit of oil, herbs, and seasoning. And we'll give it a mix. And we'll let it marinate for a few hours. With our meat marinated, time to sear. There's a lot of moisture in this marinade, so keeping the heat high to try and get some color on it. Should be all cooked up, meat out, and vegetables in. And we'll just cook them down. Back in with the meat, we'll get all those flavors combined.
I wonder if he's gonna be making some pico de gallo with this. Maybe.
And let's assemble. Guac, salsa, the meat and pepper filling, and just like that, it's time to eat. It's surprisingly good.
It's another success.
This is like a very high quality weeknight meal.
It didn't have that well-roundedness that we got with the others. I probably would have put the tortilla on the fire for a couple seconds, but I love all the textures. You get those sauteed vegetables, the tortilla.
All of the components inside work really well together. I love this one too. I don't think I'd rate it as high as the others.
It doesn't have the X factor that some of the other ones have, but it's very good.
A B for basic, but that doesn't mean it doesn't taste great. It's just not as cool as the other ones.
Instead of adding Fanta to this, if you would have added like hatch chilies or another type of chilies, even paprika, you could have made easily a very nice carne asada and had like real tacos.
You guys knew this one was coming. We've made it to the tomahawk cooked over fire. Looks like he's starting with black pepper, then some salt. Interesting, so he's wrapping the steak itself in tin foil, leaving that bone exposed. Okay, he's going directly on the fire, then shoveling more coals on top of it, kind of allowing it to cook from both sides. I mean, that looks pretty good. Just searing directly over a campfire. It's hard not to smile looking at that. It's just a man, a giant steak. I mean, life doesn't get better than that.
Oh, that is a good steak.
Let's give this one a shot.
The reason why Luke is covering the tomahawk is to prevent it from actually burning. When you have a thicker cut of meat, it will take a lot longer to cook than a thinner cut of meat. So if you have to cook it 4, twice, or even 3 times the amount of time, you run the risk of burning it.
And for this one, we've managed to get our hands on what might just be the biggest tomahawk steak I've ever seen. I mean, this thing has gotta be close to 4 inches thick. But I have to say, the marbling is absolutely fantastic. And we'll hit it with a bunch of salt. Again, excessively thick cut, so it can take a lot. And we'll hit it with a bunch of black pepper. Steak down, and we'll just wrap it up. And we'll get it on the grill. Get our steak right in the center, and we'll throw some embers on top, and we'll let it cook. And I think it should be ready to sear. Oh, wow. Just remove the tin foil.
When you have a situation like this, you don't need to panic. There are going to be juices in this little wrap that you made, and you do not want to pour it towards yourself. Yeah, you can burn yourself. Just leave it off to the side, let it cool down, and if it's on fire, don't worry about it. Just take off the foil. The fire is burning all the proteins or the fat that's like dripping off. It's not a big deal. He's really enjoying that fire that he made.
Let's give it a sear. Steak should be mostly cooked at this point. Just trying to give it a nice final sear. And just check out the crust on this steak. I have no idea what the internal temp is. It could be completely overcooked. This thing looks like it's gone to war, but that crust does look flavorful.
It doesn't look like it's like well done, but it may be a little more like medium well.
And let's slice into it. Well, definitely closer to a medium or medium well than we would have liked, but all things considered, it's still looking pretty juicy. I'm just hoping that smoky charred flavor will outweigh the fact that it is a bit overcooked. It's hard to say anything bad about a giant tomahawk cooked over fire. I will say, I did overcook this, but it's still delicious.
It's a great steak. I don't have any negatives besides the fact that Max completely butchered it when it comes to medium rare.
There's honestly nothing I love more than steak cooked on top of a campfire. You get the smoky, you get the meaty. It's a winner, again.
It's crazy because it is such a simple way to cook, but it can take average food and just elevate it way beyond traditional cooking methods. They should have a restaurant that does this. Maybe we should start one. A very solid A.
Here in Barcelona, Abac, which is a 3 Michelin star restaurant, the chef Jordi Cruz did have a menu not that long ago, which was basically everything smoked on his menu. So I did have a version of that menu for my birthday last year, and it wasn't bad. It's just that After about 18, it was an 18-course meal, and after about like 10 of the courses being this and that smoked different ways, it gets to be a little overpowering. It really does.
That was very good.
Okay guys, this right here is probably the one I'm most excited to cook. I know I've said that for multiple of these, but this is it. We have our moose ribs.
For dinner, I brought along some moose ribs. These are just 2 ribs from the moose I shot this fall.
I recently did review this video. I did a live on it, so if you haven't seen that video, be sure to check that out. It's only about an hour and a half long. And if you haven't tasted moose before, it is not like beef.
I mean, look at the size of those ribs. They're freaking massive. Okay, seasoning them up and wrapping in foil.
You want to cook these on a low heat very slowly.
Cooking them right by the fire, low and slow. Unlikely, but I hope he's using applewood. A man can dream.
Applewood is wonderful to smoke with. And again, I mean, if you want to use cherry or hickory, you can use whatever you want.
You can see how the meat is kind of peeling back from the bone. A good sign that these were probably cooked well. That actually looks pretty good. I feel like he definitely burned his mouth on that one, but that just looks so hearty and satisfying on a cold winter night. Let's give him a shot.
Well, let's see if we can actually get like moose ribs, because it's not like a very readily available meat in the US. I'm sure you can find it, but it's not like, or it's probably not as easily available to get in Florida, I should say, as Alaska. There aren't that many moose in Florida. There's more alligators.
Okay, so I couldn't find moose ribs, but I do have something just as cool. These are buffalo ribs. As you can see, they have a nice red color, but they're extremely thin. These are the exact same cut as baby back ribs from a pig. Just like Luke, we'll start by hitting this with some garlic salt and that black pepper.
Now, I think he meant bison. I could be wrong. It may actually be buffalo instead of bison, but buffalo meat, or I should say bison meat, is very lean. You can easily overcook it. And these ribs don't look like they have a lot of meat on the bone. I mean, you look at them and they are paper thin.
Throw it on the tin foil and wrap it up. Get it nice and tight, and we'll get it on the fire. So what I'm gonna do is kind of clear out a little area. We want low heat so these ribs can slowly break down and cook. Ribs on. And we'll let those cook.
If any of you haven't tried bison meat before, it is tasty, but if you overcook it, it can be tough. It's very lean. It's similar to beef, but it's not the same.
Just like that, it's been a few hours, and they should be done. I cannot wait to open these up. Oh boy, looks like we got a little bit of burning even through the tin foil, but generally speaking, I mean, they don't look half bad. We even got that separation from the bone. And we'll slice them up. I think the bone has turned into charcoal. I hope the meat's still okay. Slice right down center. These actually look pretty awesome. I can tell they're tender. They have this like shreddable texture to them. They kind of remind me of like beef back ribs.
Either one, his knife was dull, or two, these are not very tender, because look at this. Look how the knife just tore the meat. You see this? That's not a clean cut. That's not good. When you cook ribs to the point where they're extremely tender, they can literally fall off the bone. You don't need to even pull them off. Now, to eat ribs on the bone, you don't want them to that point, obviously, because otherwise it's impossible to eat them. But you also don't want them to be super rubbery, because then you need a toothpick or you need a floss to get all the meat out of your teeth.
These are actually supposed to be moose ribs. Instead, we have buffalo. Very interesting. Tender.
I love them. It's almost just like condensed beefiness in a good way.
It's missing the char flavor. Because we cooked it fully wrapped up, it didn't actually get any of those like campfire flavors. It is tender though, and if you're in a pinch cooking in the wilderness, these would absolutely hit the spot.
The way to improve this dish would be to get a little bit of a char after cooking it low and slow.
But also the Outdoor Boys scale is different. Like all these things are in the upper echelon of food, but given how incredible some of his other dishes are, it's getting a C.
They didn't like that one, did they? The other thing you need to keep in mind is that bison meat, buffalo meat, whatever you're making, is not the same as moose. But for all my viewers that have had moose meat, please write down below so everyone can understand the difference between like moose, venison, elk, and everything else. Venison, which is deer meat, can be quite gamey. But from what other people have said, moose meat is extremely gamey, like it's a very strong flavor.
Super pumped up about this one. Next up, it's the campfire prime rib roast.
Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and today I'm gonna make the ultimate prime rib roast Christmas dinner. And I'm gonna do it over a campfire in a snowstorm. I'm gonna show you a super easy way to do it. It's a technique called sous vide.
It says sous vide, but there's obviously no electricity out in the wild. How is he gonna do this?
Sous vide basically means to cook under the vacuum. Now, the idea with sous vide is that if you maintain that one temperature, you're bringing that temperature of the food that you're cooking up slowly to that temperature. It can technically not overcook. Theoretically, it will hold that temp indefinitely. To put it shortly, it's a much easier way on cooking the food. It's much more forgiving as well.
There we go, that looks well seasoned. Now we're gonna turn this up to redneck level 1000 here. We are going to put this whole thing in a garbage bag.
Oh, I don't know what I was expecting, but this is not it.
Garbage bags and cling wrap don't melt until 200 degrees. We're gonna sous vide bath at 140, so we're good.
I mean, he has a point. Technically, it should work.
Now, I'm not a specialist on trash bags, but I don't believe that the plastic is food grade. Yeah, it's not rated to cook your food. You also need to be careful about the perfumes that they tend to add to a lot of the trash bags, because you don't want that in your food. But if you're in a pinch, you have to do what you have to do.
All right, we got the water boiling. You want to be able to put your whole hand in like this and hold it for about the count of 1 or 2 before it hurts. And that puts you at about 150, 140.
Not necessary for us, but he actually sous vide that overnight. It's crazy. All sorts of tasty looking sides. This is a full-on feast. That right there is an insane plate of food. Let's see what we can do. And starting off with a beautiful prime rib. Just like any time I cook a prime rib, I'm gonna find that first seam here and just using my hands, pull it back like so. From here, just kind of slice, peeling it away. Probably the most underrated prime rib tip. I'm telling you, getting rid of the silver skin just leads to a way better final product.
No, that's a good tip. You want to get rid of it. It's also nice to have like a bone-in prime rib, because then you actually have that extra flavor with the bone. It just cooks differently when it's on the bone.
And we'll season it liberally with salt and black pepper. We'll hit it with the mustard, and that all patted in. On with the herbs. Kind of just threw them on there like this, just for what it looks like. And yes, guys, we're gonna actually try cooking this in a trash bag. To be honest, I have no idea if this is food safe. I assume it won't melt, but there's only one way to find out. And we'll just gently place our beautiful prime rib in the trash bag. That's not something you hear every day.
We do cook with plastic with sous vide. Normally we put them in our little bags that we have, but these little plastic bags are food grade. They're normally thick as well. So you don't have all those extra little chemicals leaching into your food. Although now there is a thing with plastics and everything you need to be careful with. This is true, but a lot of restaurants, especially over here in Europe, cook sous vide. It's easy to perfect food, and 2, it helps to keep all the flavors in, so you don't waste as much, like when you're trying to brine anything or marinate anything. You don't waste a lot.
We are all bagged up. We got our tub of heated water. We'll add in more boiled water. See how hot it is? Whew. Okay, I can leave my finger in there for about 2 seconds, which means it should be around 130, 140 Fahrenheit. And in with the prime rib. This is like the ultimate dichotomy. We have one of the most premium cuts of meat in the world, cooked in a trash bag in a flimsy bin of hot water. We'll give it a few hours and see if this works.
It will work, but you're gonna have an issue maintaining the correct temperature without it varying too much, so it can make the process a lot longer than it should be.
And just like that, it has been 5 full hours. We've been adding hot water to keep it nice and toasty, which means I'm hoping it should be ready to sear. It appears as though the bag has maintained its seal. So all things considered, I'm feeling pretty good about this right now. But I will say it does feel very rare. I hope it's mostly cooked, but either way, let's get it on the fire. And now I'm gonna basically try searing right on top of the fire. Oh, that is quite the sight. And let's see if we can flip it.
I wonder how many times his little campfire went out. I think a lot.
Oh wow, that's actually a pretty nice looking crust. I think I found the perfect searing zone. It looks like we're getting super consistent fire on it. This is working out better than I ever could have hoped. color on this is just looking absolutely beautiful. I think it's ready to come off. And just take a look at this prime rib. I mean, cooked in a trash bag, then thrown over a fire or not, this looks absolutely stunning. But what matters most is what's going on the inside. Time for the moment of truth. I mean, it's definitely pretty rare, but that to me is looking perfect. So juicy, just edge to edge pink. Honestly, it doesn't get much better than that.
For a lot of people that I know, they wouldn't eat this unless it was cooked a lot more. Me personally, I like mine to be like medium rare. But if it's rare, I'll still eat it.
I mean, you guys let me know down in the comments, is this rare, overcooked, undercooked, completely raw? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. And what we're left with is the Outdoor Boys prime rib roast Christmas dinner, cooked over a campfire.
Normally for the holidays, like Christmas, we do make a roast like this with all the extra condiments. But in the UK, this is a typical Sunday roast, and even maybe with some Yorkshire puddings. It's very typical to have this on a Sunday.
We got the sauce, the carrots, the fire baked potato. I'm not much of a Brussels sprouts guy, but covered in bacon, it's gotta be good.
Trash bag prime rib.
It's also June, but we're having a Christmas dinner, so enjoy. Wow. The char flavor is what takes it over the top. I don't even taste the trash bag. It's because we finished it over fire.
And those sides though, like a baked potato cooked inside of a fire, just tastes better.
I actually really like Brussels sprouts. Bacon definitely makes them better.
I wonder if he also made the cranberry sauce or if it was canned.
This would really be the perfect Christmas dinner.
Grills are out, campfires are in. It's just night and day. Not only can Luke survive in any terrain, he can cook.
This has to be an S. It has to be an S. It's the best prime rib dinner I think we've ever had.
I agree. I think this is an S.
Straight up, this is some of the best food we've had on the channel. I can't stop eating it. I'm so full and I can't stop.
After all the recommendations to see this video, I'm glad that we saw it. This was a very good video to watch. Max did an excellent job recreating a lot of the meals that Luke makes on his channel. And of course, if anybody wants to see more review videos or even recipe videos, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, and don't forget to head over to Max's channel and say hi for me, because I really enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video as well as learned something, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. Until then, be sure to check out the next video here, and I will see you again very soon. Take care.